go live soon. So how is everybody doing?
Hello?
Hey, Chris. Good.
Sorry, my mic was on mute. My bad.
Okay, no worries. So it's good to see you here. It's good to see a lot of people here, and I think it's just a very good week for a lot of us. Go live, and that should be cool. So before we are live, so I'm going to keep an eye on the YouTube chat as well too, to see, make sure if anybody is joining us from YouTube, they have questions, so I can answer them quickly. So so let's start. I guess we can probably start right now. So what is going on, everybody? This is Crypto Ed here from 1 Hour Investing, and just thank you all for joining us today for our casual session to discuss about what is new in the crypto space, because crypto is always moving. There's a lot of news happening, and you want to be on top of this news, on top of headlines and what is happening, because if you don't, you're going to fall behind. And so I'm just excited to have all of you guys joining us. And if you're new, and especially watching us on YouTube, I invite you guys to just hit the like button, hit subscribe, and take the little bell notification icon so that you can be kept up to date with all the news in the crypto space. So so I guess we can get started for today. So this is just I don't really have that a lot of headlines to go over, but I think it's very good for us to just get into the habit of being kept up to date with what is happening in the crypto space. So first off, I just want to talk a bit about on-chain analysis. So if you guys are not on Glassnode, this is a great website, especially with mailing list. They have a mailing list which you can join for free. So that's the best part. They do have some data analysis tools that you got to pay for. But even if you don't pay for these tools, the newsletter gives you a lot of info on what is happening in the crypto space, and you always want to be kept up to date. You want to be kept right. You want to know all the fundamental information about crypto, because regardless of whether Bitcoin goes up to 60K or 20K, right? The fundamentals remain the same. There's a lot of institutional buyers, a lot of whales. They are buying it, and they see this as a good store of value, and that's the fundamental fact about this. So we can start off, and we can see that we started off this week, even before this week, right? On Saturday and Sunday with this massive run up from the lowest point of 29K, and my condolences for anyone who sold under 30K, and it probably look a bit scary, when you had had something that look like a drop off, right? Something look like a drop off. Right, you have something that look like a drop off. I'm going to remove all the squiggly lines that I drew here, right? But you have something that looks like a drop off, and then it's you have descending triangles, right? It does look scary, right? And the last time people saw this, I would say was back in 2018. If you look at the daily charts and you look at the price of Bitcoin back in 2018, some of you who have been around since back then may recall something similar as well too. I mean, with Bitcoin making this descending triangle. Right, Bitcoin making this descending triangle. So I could imagine there were a lot of YouTubers out there. They were saying Bitcoin is making this descending triangle, right? So they were sharing a lot of fun, a lot of YouTube videos about Bitcoin's gonna crash, right? Because last time it happened like this, it dropped below. Well, this time around, it didn't happen, and those who bought in the FUD, right, from those YouTubers are in a world hurt right now. So don't trust everybody. Just because someone says that it's gonna keep dropping, because you're making lower highs, it's gonna drop. Doesn't there's no guarantee it's going to drop, right? There, it shows that there's a chance it'll drop lower, but the opposite can be true too. And it's important to have a game plan for either way. And this is why having like stop losses is important, right? So yeah, so let's go back. Let's go back to the 4-hour candle and also back here, right? So you can see that a lot of people who were shorting, they were expecting Bitcoin to drop like under the 28K, right? They got wrecked. Like their short positions got squeezed, and they lost a lot, right? And then you can see that a lot of these people, right? A lot of people they're putting they are like doing like Bitcoin options. So you're not familiar with Bitcoin options? It's like options trading, right? People are betting on where the price of Bitcoin could head to, right? For this one, it's for on the strike date of August 27th. So a lot of people are expecting Bitcoin to hit around this point, right? A lot of bulls around this area, right? So like 40K to like 90K. There's some people who are betting that Bitcoin could hit 80K, right? Like by August 27th. You also have a lot of people who are bidding on the opposite side too, right? People who are betting that it could drop down to like 30K again, 25K again, 20K again. So, but right now we do see that there are people on both sides, and it seems like they are a bit more favoring the upper end, but doesn't guarantee that it's going to go up. It just shows that this is what the market sentiment is feeling right now, and it's always important to have a good understanding or just have a good picture of what is happening in this space. And so yes, and then just other things I look at just futures, right? You have more futures going up, which is the case for just this week, where a lot of people buying, getting back in, right? When they see Bitcoin going up, they go back in, right? I'm going to skip over a bit more of these. And then probably I want to see if they have more. Right, this is just liquidation. Like people got short, right? 120 million people who were shorting, they got liquidated. So don't short, don't trade on margin. That's my overall opinion on this. Not financial advice, but I've seen a lot of people getting wrecked, right, when they trade on margin. So don't do that. Like, and if you have to, if you are, make sure that you have done enough paper trading. You know what you're doing, right? And but yeah, but this is not financial advice.
It was more than that. Like the crypto liquidations, it was like 900 million. It wasn't like that. I think that's outdated data. It was like 900 million got liquidated like in a day or two. Yeah.
Yeah, so this I think this was released on Monday. So I guess when you combine like Tuesday, Wednesday, yeah. So that's why you heard like people like I am George saying that over like almost $1 billion of shorts got.
Bears getting wrecked, man.
Yeah,
it happens when everyone starts shorting, and then like, we've all kind of just started to accumulate, and some of these institutions are buying. So apparently someone bought like $1 billion worth of Bitcoin the other, like 2 days ago or something like that. Apparently there was like a really large inflow on one of the, or outflows on one of the exchanges. And apparently someone just bought like $1 billion of Bitcoin. It wasn't from OTC because you could see it on on-chain metrics. So I don't know where that came from, but someone just bought $1 billion worth of spot BTC, which obviously will affect the price on the spot markets.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of us have been waiting for something like this because we all hear about like how institutional investors are buying Bitcoin on the end, but they've been buying through OTC, like just buying through OTC, like, and usually when something is bought on OTC, it doesn't affect the market, right? So it's good to see that someone is finally buying through the spot market right now, and yeah, we'll see where it goes from here because I think we've seen a lot of people selling like through the spot market in the past, right? A lot of sales, a lot of like price dump we've seen right in the last couple of months, right, came from like people just manipulating through selling on the spot market. So it's good to see the other side happening now. Does it mean that it's going to continue on? We don't know, but we know that maybe some whales have loaded up enough already, and they feel that it's time to start moving the price of Bitcoin up. So this could be what's happening right now, but we won't know until I guess much later on when we do have the stats and data and such. So let's go down and see what else. Yeah, so you can also see numbers of sending and receiving entities, right? You can see that there's more people sending, well, more people receiving too, right? So it's a sign that people are like loading up on Bitcoin. You people who are going, they see this rise in Bitcoin prices and they're going to the ATM and buying. So this is good news too. So people are coming up, and then you also have network profitability. I mean, like these are like a average, I guess, average price of how much people bought Bitcoin on. And if the price of Bitcoin drops below the color line, right, it means that people are like buying or selling below the average price. So I believe this is the aggregated average right here. So right now, still a lot of people are still in the profit. Like if you count everybody who bought from before, back in all the way back to 2016. So there's still a lot of people who are profitable. And the last time, like Bitcoin was on average unprofitable was back in March last year, during the COVID dump. So so what we're experiencing is actually not as bad as what we had like last year, or even back during the bear winter when we dipped below like 3,000. So Bitcoin is still profitable. Doesn't mean that yeah. I personally, in my opinion, and also opinion of a lot of other YouTubers been watching, a lot of people do believe that a bull market is still on. It'll still continue on. All right, and then yeah. So that, and then just more charts right here, right? You have the 2013 pump. It was actually, we actually had like a double pump where the bull market, after the halvening, we had a run up and then it cooled off for a bit, and then it had a second run up like in 2014 before it started coming down again. And then of course 2016 pop, the 2018 2017 famous bull run, right, was just a single pump right here. So what we are experiencing, I could potentially be like a double pump right here. So yeah, just more stats right here, and then just showing that more people are, yeah, more people are like, for a period of time, people were like buying, I guess they were like buying coins at below cost basis. But yeah, but I think this is enough some data metrics to look at right now. But yeah, Chris, did you have some news stories you want to share?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I have a couple
like,
of fun ones, and I'm sure some of you have seen this. Let me see if I can share my
yeah.
screen.
Okay, you should be able to share.
Should be this one, not that one. This one. There we go. Okay, right. That's not what I wanted to look at. Yeah, so there was a couple of interesting ones that kind of happened the last like week. So the first one that I saw that I posted into the group was that Amazon will be accepting crypto, which is pretty interesting, considering that Amazon is a massive company and they move a lot of money, and Amazon is known globally for what they do in terms of shipment and purchasing products, right? So if you would have the ability to pay with cryptocurrency, that's incredibly awesome and would be incredibly bullish for the price of all the cryptocurrencies that they're looking to adopt. The funny thing is that the day after that this occurred, there was literally an Amazon denies that they're accepting Bitcoin, right, and sends it tumbling. But the funny thing is that they already have a job posting for a lead, essentially a blockchain and cryptocurrency lead at Amazon. So you can tell that like they were trying to keep it like hush hush that they were working on it. And apparently Jeff Bezos had put in a statement saying that they've been working on this since 2019. So like that was like roughly 2 years ago, depending on when he said that, right? So they've been working on this for years. They knew about Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're not, you know, so that's pretty cool to see. Now that again, them denying that they're accepting Bitcoin did send the prices tumbling, but I think it's just good to see that they're starting to adopt some of the cryptocurrencies. Not only are they going to do Bitcoin, they're just looking at Bitcoin first. And then I think they said that they were looking to expand into like Ethereum and Cardano and some other ones that I saw. So Ed, I don't know what you think about that, but to me, that's pretty cool to see like a big company, like mainstream company that everyone basically knows what it is. That's like going to be potentially accepting Bitcoin in the future, right?
Yeah, I think it's pretty big news. And yeah, I recall last week, just a lot of YouTubers are talking about it. And whenever like a big company like puts up like a job posting where they are looking for a blockchain expert, it gets a lot of hype. And I guess for Amazon, we don't know for sure. I know they dispel a bit, but a lot of times like we see companies like J.P. Morgan, Wells Fargo, they'll say something like they'll say that they're denying like getting Bitcoin, but then afterwards, after loading up on stuff, they'll say that we bought Bitcoin, and then the prices start going up. Right, so anything could happen with Amazon and such too.
And it's funny that you mentioned JP Morgan, because like my next one was JP Morgan opens crypto trading to all clients. And so basically like advisors and JP Morgan's 630 billion wealth management division can essentially buy and sell certain crypto products now, including like all these trusts, right? So like the Grayscale Trust, Ethereum Trust, and all these other trusts. So I mean, even if it's just like a fraction of a percent of what of 630 billion, that's a massive amount of money that would move the crypto space very, very fast. So that's really cool to see that you're able to trade via JP Morgan, and I'm sure there's been other ones from other companies, but this is just the first big one to all clients. So that's cool to see. And it's kind of funny that Ed said that, because, you know, the banks will, again, always say that, like, you know, they didn't buy any, and they'll like FUD the crap out of it. And then two weeks later, when the price is like rock bottom at like 28K, no one's buying, and then they just scoop it up. Right.
The name of the guy, I think there was a guy from either JP Morgan or from like Wells Fargo, one of the big banks. Like he likes to say that Bitcoin is going to go down to like 20K or 10K. I forgot which guy.
I think that's Guggenheim.
Yeah, Guggenheim. Because I remember, because I'm back in January. He was telling everyone, like, when Bitcoin just passed by 20K to 25K to 30K, right? He was saying that Bitcoin's going to go down to 10K, and we all know that what happened, right? It went up to 60K, and when it dropped back down to 30K, he was at it again, saying Bitcoin's going down to 10K again.
They are all pretty smart cookies. They know what's going on. They're just testing the waters to try to fuck with us. It's okay. We got to understand them and think like those guys do, and fine. Gary Gensler, who runs the SEC, he put on a course. He said he was shocked at how ignorant these guys at JP Morgan really, essentially, they really are. They're totally ignorant. They're just playing the game. They're all stockbrokers doing the thing. Understand their mindset. They want to screw us.
Oh, 100%. No, definitely.
Yeah, that's a game they're trying to play, because for the last couple weeks, right, ever since Bitcoin dropped down from 60K, right, they want to drive the prices low so that they can buy at a discount. Because why buy at 60K if you can buy for half off at 30K? And when you just putting up news articles, it's pretty cheap to put out a news article. Like if you have like a couple $1,000s, you can get like a Yahoo Finance to publish an article, right? And once you get like a couple news outlets to publish an article, everyone starts talking about it, and you have a cascading effect. And that's the game that the big boys that are playing. They want to scare everybody into selling the coin so that they can load it up.
Yeah, for sure. And the last two pieces of maybe not news, but like I'm sure everyone's aware, but Ethereum's EIP 1559 London hard fork is happening on August 4th. So that's like 6 days from now, exactly a week from now.
Wow.
This goes into play on the Ethereum chain. So essentially this is a triple halvening event for Ethereum. Like once everything goes into like EIP 1559 and then ETH 2.0 comes into play. I can't remember exactly who said it, but Oh, it was the squishy guy on Twitter that like wrote that essay on Ethereum and why it's going to go to like 300 grand. I don't know if you've read that, Ed, but it's a really cool read. Basically summarizing his one page thing is like the supply of ether is about like I think like 23,000 a day roughly. That's going to cut down to like 4,000 a day. I think once EIP 1559 and then ETH 2.0 gets like fully implemented, right? So you're going to see like about half of that now, and then the other half when it comes through the ETH 2.0. And it's pretty cool to see because if you look at the ETH all exchange reserve, so basically just the amount of ETH held in all of the exchange wallets, so like Binance and all these other exchanges, you could just see from July of last year, it's gone nothing but go down. Like it's literally at one of its lowest levels. And within a week, we're going to be burning ETH on every transaction on the base fee, right? So there's no reason to be bearish here, in my opinion. Just from all the indicators that I've seen and all the indicators that even Ed has shown, you can see that like we haven't hit those like upper ranges of like the bands of the stock to flow or anything. Like we haven't, none of the indicators that we're seeing are indicating that we're like in a bear market. We may be in a bear trend and an accumulation trend, but by no means are we in a bear market from what I've seen. And that's why I continue to accumulate like solid coins, through the dips. And then when it rips, you just start selling. Like that's how you make profit by buying when everyone else is selling. Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, stock to flow is another big one too. I mean, a lot of, I think I'm just week. Oh no, not week, but just for the last few months, right? People were like talking down on the stock to flow model. I think Plan B, that's the creator of stock to flow. Like he actually had a lot of flack. People were saying like stock to flow is dead, it's not working anymore. So and last week was truly like a make or break moment for this model because if it kept dropping down to like 20K, a lot more people would they'll lose faith in this model and they'll move on. And I mean, like what we had this week is not a major like run up yet. I mean, it's like a small blip, right? But if it continues the uptrend, right? If this uptrend continues, we may recover up to where I believe stock to flow is expecting Bitcoin to be at 100K by now.
So right now it's supposed to be at about 95,000 roughly. And right now it's at about roughly 40,000. Yeah. So we need to do like, what is that? 2 point something X, right?
Yeah, almost, yeah, 2 point something, 2.5X, 2.4,
to get from just where we are right now to like basically the gap between here, like at where the orange thing is, all the way to the line, because the line is where we're supposed to be.
Yeah,
you can see like the mean, the blue line is the mean between the points like here, right? So you can see we're very far beneath the stock to flow. If you're, and again, if you believe in the stock to flow, this is a model that's somehow gone all the way through these years and never been invalidated.
So like there may have been a few times where it dipped below it, but
for sure, and
oftentimes like come back right to the line. So right now we are below, and if this model holds true, like it's going to bounce back up to the predicted line.
Correct. And the stock to flow doesn't take into account, for example, that China is just going to ban all of cryptocurrency from their country, right? Like this model is just basically simple mathematics. All it's doing is it's taking its stock, so the amount of existing supply of Bitcoin, right? And then it's comparing it to the flow. So how much mining is essentially occurring over a certain period, and you're basically just dividing those numbers. It's literally just like a mathematical model. So again, that doesn't determine like any outside factor, such as people like Elon Musk tweeting something, or like a bank saying they're gonna accept cryptocurrency or whatever, right? So you have to just kind of keep that in mind and just know that this is more so just like a model. to help you understand where we are at in a cycle.
Yeah, there's no guarantee that this model will hold true, but
sure.
it is a good indicator on like whether something whether something looks like overbought, or it's like, for this case, it's like, if this model is true, then we are very like oversold right now, but not financial advice really. Anyways. So yeah, just use this as one of your different items to as you do your research and determine where like you think the price of Bitcoin is.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting as well. If you look at the stock to flow, like the initial stock to flow is kind of like all over the place. You can see how much like the deviation comes down from the bottom and then how far it goes on the upside. But you can actually see it starting to like come down and like stay closer to the line because it's becoming less volatile. So I think you see, like, for example, if you were over here, you're probably going to see it come up like maybe like this far, and then you're going to see it come down maybe this far. So, and then it's going to get to a point where it's going to just be like literally on the line.
Yeah.
That's the eventual end goal of the stock to flow. So initially, because it's, again, there's not as much adoption, it's much more volatile, but as more people pile into the currency, there's less people selling, right? So it's just keeping constant or becoming more reliable and consistent in terms of price action.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, this is definitely an interesting model, and it's not. I mean, even though it has helped a lot in the past, it's not something that you will be able to like use forever, because there are some criticisms for the stock to flow model about how if you continue the stock to flow model all the way to let's say 2030, 2040, it predicts that Bitcoin could head to like $1 billion, and very likely it's not going to get there. But so like. So when you do look at compare this model and also price, like take that into consideration too, right? That it may not hold true for the very long term. So I guess I can show you some of next up. I can show you some of my technical analysis that I've done so far, or any observations I noticed, right? So let's get rid of some of these ones, these old ones that support channels and such that I drew. But right now, as you see, right, Bitcoin has been doing this massive run up, right? If I were to draw like a trend line right here, right, I would say that we have a pretty healthy channel. We're in we have a pretty healthy run up right now. Actually, I'm not going to use this dotted line. I'm going to use a parallel channel right here instead. Right, so where we do this. And then right here. So you guys have been to some of our TA talks, right? We always talk about the ceiling of one channel is also can be the floor of another channel. So Bitcoin was in one channel right here, and then it had this massive pump, right, up to like 40K, 41K. So it's actually officially now in a different channel right here. So that's pretty good.
It's good to see that retest right there, right? Because we never want to see a chart go like absolutely straight up, because that means
go parabolic. Yeah,
that means that either somebody's playing with some crazy leverage, or there's something going on there that I don't really understand.
Yeah.
So it's good to see like the back trace, like from that peak for the initial pump, and then it back traces back, but it pumps up after that, and then it's redoing it right now at 40,000. So we've tried to hit 40,000 like a couple times in the past like couple days. So really we just have to break 40.
Like from the channel's perspective, right? We see like the retests here, and here.
Yeah.
So it's showing that this channel, the ceiling of this channel, which is the new floor, could be good support. But oops, wasn't thinking of trying to get rid of this one instead. But on the top end of how high it could go, right? So we have a 40K. So we tested it once, couldn't get through. Now we got through, and now we're like at this point, right? We were to zoom in, right? We're like struggling trying to get past this, right? You can see a lot of bear action, a lot of bears are trying to sell, right? This wick right here, these wicks right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Bears are trying to sell, but the bulls are not letting them sell. They're buying it up, right? So this shows that there's some there's some slight like contesting between the bulls and the bears right now, and eventually we will see the winner, right? If the bulls break out, right? If we break up, right? The next place I'm looking at is around like 43K, right? This area between from like 41 to 43. Why this area? So especially this line right here. If you guys don't know this line, because I'm just gonna get rid of a bunch of these other lines too, but like this line is invalidated. We don't need this anymore. But if you recall, at the very peak right here, right, Bitcoin had this drop down, and we tried to recover. So we were to take these two lines and we trace the line here. This is one potential resistance line right here. Like we have to break through this to, I guess you can say, officially be outside of this descending triangle right here. Right. And then from the other side, I don't think this is a strong support.
What's that top of the red range? Is it like 43? I can't see exactly what that
43, yeah, 43K.
Oh, okay.
So this was
and the bottom is what, 40 roughly?
So this was a support. When Bitcoin was dropping from 60K, it did bounce a bit here. So 43 could make a reasonable ceiling, but I like to play it safe and just draw like a box right here, like between 41, 42 to 43. This is going to be a lot of resistance. Like look at,
if you zoom out on that chart for just a second, just so you can see, just go a little bit to the right.
Okay.
If you remember I know people have said Wyckoff, but if you look at the structure on this is daily chart, right? Yeah, it is.
This is a 4-hour chart.
Oh, 4 hours. So if you click the hour chart, does it look roughly the same or what?
Hour chart?
Or the day chart, sorry. I meant to say the day chart.
Okay, so
does that look about the same or? Oh, it does. Oh, look at that, right? So like if you were to overlay that with like pull up a Wyckoff accumulation and just compare that. Like obviously it's a model. No model is always 100% correct.
I think it's a Y. No, I'm not sure. Yeah, you meant to do it. I'm not sure. I haven't pulled up the Wyckoff on this, so you do it.
Oh, here I'll just
I can use you on the screen.
I don't know if I can copy images in here. Oh, you stopped sharing screen.
Yeah.
Let's do the screen. Right. So, can you see my screen? Oh yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, like you could see this is the initial dump, and you could see that on Ed's screen, and then you just kind of range here, and then there's the dump all the way to 20K was this test right here, and then you start to pump up. There's the really big pump, and then there's like the consolidation. So we're starting to come back up to this level, I believe, if I was reading your chart correctly. And we're somewhere in this area right here, I think, in the phase D, just from the chart I was reading off your screen, Ed. But that's really cool to see. Like, I know everyone was screaming like, "Oh, Wyckoff," because like you saw like the distribution in May when everything started dumping, right? Which was the other distribution Wyckoff, which was this one, right? And now it looks like, from what I'm seeing, it's in the other phase, so in the accumulation phase, and so we're on our way up from what we're seeing on the charts. Even on the daily chart and the 4-hour chart, it looks like it's still in an accumulation phase, from what I'm seeing. So that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's pretty hopeful. We're getting ready. Yeah, we're getting ready to back up. So it's gonna have to do my screen for now, and then we can also take a quick look at it as well too, to see where things are. Let's see.
We're so close to that 40,000.
Yeah. Well, we technically did
Yeah,
break,
we did,
but yeah, we have
but
to.
it didn't
But yeah, we
hold.
need to break through 40K
Yeah.
for we to be certain.
Yeah, we need to. What we would literally like to see is a sustained 40K level, because then that means we're even in better territory. I mean, I think we like the really key level for me is going to be the previous high, like at right as it started dumping. So that would be the 41 to 42,000 range for me.
Yeah, because the last two times that we did, like, we didn't break 41, 42K, so that's where a lot of resistance is going to be at.
Yeah, like you can see how much resistance is already here at the 40,000 level, right? So if we break this, like the next one is going to be 41 to 42, which is probably going to be even bigger resistance. I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of just consolidate in the area and build strength, and then we break up higher.
Yeah, so we have once, twice, like 2 times we couldn't break. So maybe third time is a charm. Maybe we'll break it a third time. There's also another fear some people are making regarding what we have here is some people are noticing that we could be forming like a giant head and shoulder as well too. So we do have to take in both sides, both the bullish side and the bearish case, right? Because we have like a giant shoulder, head, and then like we don't know where the other shoulder is, right? This could be other shoulder, right? The shoulder could be here, the shoulder could be here. As long as we remain under like 64K, the case for a massive head and shoulder will always remain within the Bitcoin space. And so we're not going to be out of the woods yet, right? Until we get above 64K, like any of this could be a giant shoulder there. And when that happens, right, you take for generally you should take like the height of this, but I'm pretty sure like Bitcoin is not going to drop all the way like another like 30K from here, right? Because you drop from 30K, like from like 30K, it'll drop down to zero. It's not going to get there. There'll always be people who will be buying at the low. So we don't know how low it could drop. Some people could say 20K could be like a potential.
Yeah, it'd probably be the next resistance level, which is right there. 20K,
because it has been a strong resistance in the past. So it'll make sense that it'll be strong support if we do drop. So this is just us talking about like both scenarios, both bullish and bearish scenario, because you have to be aware of it. You don't want to just be like full of like hopium, like especially from the YouTubers out there. There's a lot of YouTubers, they like to just pump like hopium into everybody's minds. And like even today, I think I'm just seeing that like people like Bitcoin is starting to talk about, oh, how high could Bitcoin go, right? It's a sign that the people are starting to feel ecstatic right now. They're starting to feel optimism, and you have to be aware to make sure it's not false optimism, right? Because it could be a bear trap too. So plan accordingly.
But it's nice to see those 8 like green candles in a row for Bitcoin on the daily chart after we saw like I don't know how many days it was like maybe like 2 weeks straight. It was just straight red candles. Like you can see, like it just drops as soon as that death cross happened. It just dropped for like a week or two straight.
Yeah, I'm gonna stretch this a bit further back, but there you go. So we do have more resistance. I guess more support. Yeah, more cases make for the support the case why like this red box could be major resistance. We did stop on the way up here. So yeah, I'm going to be watching this area a lot. And if we do break it, right, it could be strong support after we got up, which you can see right here. After we broke through this point, it was a support point, right, on the way down. So yeah, so that's our BTC in a nutshell. Anything you want to add before we jump to ETH?
Nope, I got nothing to add.
Yeah, so we can look at ETH charts and such too. And then I also pull up CoinGecko so we can look at other coins too. But yeah, I mean, like last week was brutal. Like you had like a Polygon like at like 70 cents, 60. That was a really great time to buy up. I wish I bought it.
It's still like $1 in US dollars. It's like
Yeah.
about $1 right now.
Yeah,
A little less
compared
than
to
$1,
the $2 high.
roughly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So my ETH chart is also very very scribble up, but you can see here this first time right here we broke past this descending triangle wedge right here. So this is actually great news for Ethereum. We broke above this. This one is no longer valid anymore, right? This one is probably not needed. This one's not needed, but another indicator I like to use, right? It's called the Fibonacci indicator. I'm just going to get rid of this one first. This one shows like how far we've gone, but you can see from this Fibonacci indicator, I took the highest point to the lowest point, right? Stretch right here, and we can see that these are potential like resistance, right? That we may see with ETH as it gets back up to 4.4K. So we are at one of the resistance points, and this resistance line has been proven true like back in early July when ETH tried to get back up, right? It was blocked right here, right? It also was blocked by this line right here, this moving average, the 50-day moving average, right? So it was blocked last time, but this time around we actually got above this. So this is actually great news. Like if you like to use moving averages to determine whether something is in a strong position or not. So overall, this is just my personal opinion, not financial advice. I am pretty hopeful with where ETH is, especially with the EIP 1559 that's rolling out. There's going to be a lot of hype coming in. Whether it will live up to the expectation is a different story, but we see a lot of people, they are buying the rumor right now. They're buying the rumor, buying expectation. And only time will tell us whether it's going to live up to the hype, right? Or will people just sell the news? Like once EIP 149 comes out, people start dumping. We don't know, right? And also there could be also other effects, other like things that could affect ETH as well too. Like if Bitcoin decides to move like sharply down, right, or if the global equities market decides to go down, we could see ETH being affected too. But overall, I think I am hopeful. But more on the condition that if we can break this, because right now it is still struggling to get above here, right? This flip line right here. So yeah, anything you observe? Anything you want to add?
One thing I want to add is like you see like we break the trend line, right? And then when we break the trend line, it doesn't even have a chance to back test because the pressure from the short squeeze was so strong. Like you literally see we went from what is that, like 1800 all the way to like 2300, basically uncontested, just straight 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 green candles. Not even close to being any sort of like bearish trend there. So that's a really good reversal to see in terms of the trend, because obviously the last like 2 months has been us just in a accumulation zone between what, like 1800 or so, or 1700, excuse me, and then about like 20, whatever that top line is, like 2700 roughly.
2700.
Right. So like I think if we can break the top of that, where Ed has kind of drawn his line, and then retest that, that's a really good place to buy, is the reconfirmation. If you're a believer in that sort of trend. Yeah, I mean, I've just been personally just, again, not financial advice, but like I've just been loading up mostly on just ETH and BTC through these dips with some of my stable coins. So
we got Yeah, I see a lot of I've also been regarding ETH. I've also been looking at a lot of other like news, right, and the different companies and institutional players buying. A lot of them actually buying more ETH than Bitcoin. So so it does show something, right? That a lot there are more and more institutional players. They're starting to see the value of decentralized finance, this power of smart contract, right? Something that Bitcoin does not offer at the moment. There's no guarantee that will remain that way. I know there are a lot of talks of people who want to introduce a smart contract function with Bitcoin. Right.
Yeah, that's Jack Dorsey from Twitter.
Yeah.
He so basically Jack is he's basically trying to make the Ethereum of Bitcoin, but I don't think he quite understand that like DeFi for Bitcoin already exists.
Yeah,
like,
it's called wrap token.
Yeah, like well, there's native stuff too. So like for example, there's wrap stuff for like I know like what's that token? I don't own this one, but it's called the Badger token. That's one of them that's like wrapped where you can earn asset on Bitcoin, like at least in a decentralized manner. Thorchain is another that's native. I think there's another one, but I can't, and I don't own that one, but I can't remember what it's called. Those are the two that I know of as like DeFi off of like Bitcoin. And of course you could like basically do any sort of like wrapped Bitcoin or wrapped Ethereum. For example, like on the Matic chain or any other chain. And you can earn like yield on your Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So I hate when people say like, oh, like there's no DeFi on Bitcoin. That's not true. You're just not looking where you're supposed to be looking. If you look, it actually does already exist. It's just not as wide as like, for example, like DeFi on Ethereum, right? Because Ethereum is essentially the place of DeFi and NFTs and all these other things, right?
Yeah. And also, I think Jack Dorsey's trying to push for Bitcoin to have smart contracts because he's also
correct. Yeah,
I believe he's a Bitcoin maxi, so he looks down on every other like token out there. The only one.
For sure. And I think the most interesting thing to me for this summer, I think, is going to be ETH. And I don't you don't have to answer this question, but personally, like I own more ETH than I own Bitcoin because I believe that ETH has more application use and more utility. I'm not saying that Bitcoin is bad by any means. Bitcoin currently is the number one dog in the crypto space, right? So I mean, do you own more ETH than Bitcoin? And you don't have to tell me if you don't want, but I know how much I have.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, most of my coins are still locked up with Quadrica, so it is most of it's still Bitcoin. I mean, that's the majority of my crypto holdings, but but if I could access them, right, I actually would have moved them over to ETH because I'm actually more excited about ETH and everything. So
same.
Still waiting for the day when I get my tokens from Quadrica. Until then, I guess I'm hodling through them. I mean, like yeah. So that's the good news is probably I'm forced to not sell like prematurely.
Yeah, for sure.
Downsides, I don't know how long we'll be holding on for.
Yeah. So I see a question from the chat here. Connor McKenzie says Thorchain is cross-chain, not specifically Bitcoin. I thought that's true. I was just saying that Thorchain, you can earn yield on native Bitcoin without any wrap tokens. There's more than one chain it supports. That's just one of them. Yeah. I think what we'll probably see is like when, and it's not just me, but what a lot of people are kind of reminiscing about is like the first DeFi summer that occurred in summer of 2020. So I think a lot of people are expecting a kind of like similar. It may not be DeFi, it may be NFTs or whatever it may be. I think that if anything sparks it, it's going to be the 1559 that's going to happen on the 4th. Now that may not happen instantly because all of the Ethereum that's burned, it happens with every transaction, right? So obviously on the first day, it's going to burn a certain amount of ETH, but over time it's going to burn more. So the supply is going to be less and less right? So we kind of just have to see like how much ETH actually gets burned in comparison to the supply,
Yeah.
and like how much like of the network is actually being utilized when the proposal for EIP 1559 is actually live, right? But that would be really cool to see if like a second DeFi 2.0 summer came around, or NFT summer 2.0. Oh, you're on mute. Ed, you're on mute, buddy.
Yeah, so I was saying about how right now there's a lot of hype from ETH 1559 is based on the results from the testnet, and from the testnet they were able to burn a lot just to see like how much can it burn, right? So and also they were also testing to see like how much volume it can handle. So I mean it makes sense why like they were burning a lot, right? But it really will come down to like real world application. Like once 1559 is made as like made official, like will people burn a lot, right? So we'll have to see. But I mean, like just from the last 2 days alone, like we did see a lot of people, like a lot of ETH transactions, right? From another, I believe there's another like cat project. So it's not Crypto Kitties, but yeah.
Talking about stoner cats.
I forgot which. I don't remember which one. I was just doom scrolling some headlines.
Yeah, there was this project. I think I can't remember.
30 minutes sold out in 30 minutes or something.
Yeah, it's the one that Mila Kunis did. It's called Stoner Cats, I believe. Apparently, I don't know the exact numbers on this, but apparently there was like, I think it was like 1.5 thousand ETH got burned trying to mint this stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, see, there it is right there. That first article, Stoner Cats NFT sale costs users 790,000 in failed transactions. It's probably because the network got so clogged that everyone like was trying to get one, and it literally it's $800,000 worth of ETH that just got burned.
Yeah, people just sending orders to buy. I mean, was it like a free airdrop or was it like a?
No, I don't think it was. I don't think it was free. Oh, so it was 344 ETH. Sorry. But I mean, that's still a lot of ETH to be burned just on one project.
Sold out in 35 minutes.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of interest, right, on the ETH network. I'm just surprised it's not being launched on it's not
Polygon
being launched on Matic was it? I think, right?
You know what's funny about when you said right as you said that is that I remembered that Tom Brady's NFT is actually on Polygon. I don't know if you know that or not, but it is.
Yeah, I heard I am George talking about it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Autograph, I think that's called.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, autograph NFT. So it's not just his autograph, but I think he's doing like NFTs for all the sports player. I think he wants to corner that niche.
I mean, like sports is a massive, space, and a lot of people watch sports. So I think it's just natural that, NFTs are also in the sports world. That's why you have projects like Chili's, right? I don't own that project, but I know that it's a really big project in like soccer.
Yeah, they're soccer and esports.
Yeah,
because I think they have one, or at least on Binance, that they had like the team OG. That's an esports team.
And that's so cool to see. Polygon is like, not only are they launching like scaling solutions, they're also launching an entire like separate division for their NFTs. So that's pretty neat to see.
Yeah. So you can quickly take a look at like some of the top large cap coins, right? Let's see, Binance is still holding up very well. Despite a lot of FUD happening, a lot of regulation. Oh, speaking of Binance, Binance is going to be they're going to be scaling down how much BTC you can withdraw from their account.
I saw that.
So if you have a lot of BTC on Binance, especially if you are like like, of course, we all know not to leave coins overnight on Binance, but for whatever reason, if you have a margin position, right? If you are borrowing, you have a leverage position, right? This is not a good place to be at. So I know a lot of YouTubers, they're pulling out of Binance right now. So and then also news like CZ, he's willing to step down, though he's not stepping down. He just says that if things get bad, he's willing to step down. So it could mean something about how Binance may be willing to bend to like different regulators out there.
I think one exchange that's up and coming, and it's like you can see like how well they're doing is FTX, led by Sam from FTX. Like they in the past like week, I think last week they did $900 million in funding towards FTX, and I've seen pictures of that guy like literally sleeping because there's a bed right next to where he does his videos. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
In his office or something.
Right? Yeah, like he literally sleeps right next to his computer, and so you know the guy is like he's working his ass off, man. Like every video I see of that guy, he is hustling and he's hustling hard. And you can just see it in all the FTX partnerships.
Yeah. He's only 29 years old, and he's a billionaire, and he has he sleeps in his office. I think he's right here. If something about he sleeps in
he sleeps in the office, and there's like I was watching one of the videos with I think it was like an interview with CryptoTalk and I think it was Sam and someone else, or he was watching a video, and I just saw there was a bed right there, and I was like, oh my god, he probably just sleeps right next to his computer.
FTX it is going somewhere, but I mean, they bought when they bought the naming rights to the Florida Stadium, I think a Miami Stadium. They bought the FTX Stadium, and then it's them as well. They bought rights to like baseball or something. Oh, am I mixing it up with Crypto.com? I think Crypto.com, they bought rights to
UFC. It was UFC.
UFC box shorts. So a lot of crypto companies they're heading mainstream through sports.
Pull up the media cycle, like the stages of a media cycle that I always see on not media cycle, sorry. You know what I mean? Like the chart that says adoption? Like, what is that called again?
Is it technology adoption?
The one that has like fear or disbelief, you know. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. I'm drawing
that market cycle.
Yeah, sorry, market cycle. My bad. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, market cycle cheat sheet. So
yeah,
I think this is probably the most popular one.
To me, it feels like we're in the kind of the just exiting the bear trap from the media attention that's happening. That's where I think we are, but a lot of people will also kind of tell you we're in the bull trap, like the bounce up to the return to normal bull trap.
Yeah, people like what's his name, Richard Hart, the founder of Hex Token, which is a scam, by the way. He was on, I think he was on BitBoy saying that, we're just hit the top, we're going down. And
I remember that guy. I watched a couple of minutes of that video. I was like,
and then
I have no idea what he's talking about.
And then I Am George was like dissing him. It was like, okay, this guy claims to be a billionaire, and he's hiding in a dark room with like a bunch of watches, like Rolex watches and like Louis Vuitton suitcases.
I feel like he was just like flexing, you know what I mean? Like he's flexing, like he doesn't have money. He's just showing off that he has money. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. But yeah, like again, like you can just see how much media and like you can see not only the media, but the mainstream adoption that's happening. Like all the banks, all of like Amazon, Tesla, like all these other
Yeah.
companies that are just kind of discussing. So you can see the adoption is rising. But obviously there's still some concern for fear in the market until we break certain levels. And again, like as Ed had pointed out in the previous chart, that like massive head and shoulders is a possibility, right?
Yeah.
You know, me and Ed don't know exactly where this is going, but we believe in certain things, and we can look at the on-chain metrics. That's the best you can do, right?
And both of us, we have plans, like in case if it does drop, at least we have like an escape plan, or at least like
Exactly.
an emergency plan to make sure that if it drops, it's not going to hurt us too bad. Like so it's always important to be open, right, to both scenarios. I think one of my other favorite YouTubers, Alessio. He likes to say that in the world of investing, there's no certainty in this space. It's just a range of probability. Right? Anything is possible, but question is how probable is it, right? Because possible means it could happen, right? But probable means if it's probable, that means it has a fair chance of happening. And you have to be, I guess you have to rate at different scenarios to see like what are the chances of like different outcomes, right? What are the chances that we are at a bear trap, and what are the chances that we are at a bull trap right now, and plan accordingly, right? Of course, this is not financial advice, as I repeat it multiple times, but it's always good to have a plan and expect anything in this space.
What's I'm interested because I know what I learned from the last like 2 months. What's like 1 or 2 things that you learned just in terms of like crypto in general, like taking profits or whatever, and it may be like in the last 2 months, Ed, like just from the drop that happened, right?
Yeah, I think the biggest like for myself, I have most of my position, as I said, right, is stuck with an exchange that I'm trying to claim through class action, but I've heard a lot of stories of people who have been they think that they can be smarter than the market. And I heard a lot of people who try to like play the market, right? They try to trade, they try to short, and they end up making all the bad decisions, right? And sometimes my advice, probably what I share is probably in line with a lot of other I say these like the more OG YouTubers out there, where we just say like don't leverage, right? Don't leverage if you can't handle it, because like one of the websites I like to go to, right, is buybit.com, right?
Yeah, the liquidation data. Yeah.
And I just look at this all the time. Like every time like there's a big candle, a big drop, I look at this, and I just think that wow, like
scroll to the bottom so you can see.
Yeah, like I look at this data, and then I think about how the other day I was trying to short or was trying to long. I'm glad I didn't do that, because I could have ended up like one of these people right here, right? For this case, a lot of people try to long, like they were longing right on leverage, and they got wrecked right here. And here, right, on Sunday, the massive short squeeze, and look at all
$1 billion on when was that? 3 days ago.
Yeah, 3 days ago.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah, like almost $1 billion got liquidated, right? And
look where it came from, man. Look for where majority of it came from. No, when it got liquidated,
here?
It came from Bybit.
Bybit.
Classic.
Yeah.
No, but that's interesting to see. I think the 2 most important things I think I learned just from the last 2 months of the accumulation / bear trend, and we could still be in that, is that number one, take more profits. I think we could probably all say that we got pretty, especially of us who've been in the space a little bit longer, is that we got pretty greedy, right? Like we all saw the number go up, and we're like, oh, it'll go higher, and it's $10 or 20%, whatever it may be, right? And then all of a sudden we just drop to half, and you're like, well, I can't sell now. If I do, I'm selling at a loss.
Yeah.
So number one, take profits more aggressively, especially as we pump parabolically. So that's one lesson to be sure of, especially when we see if I personally see that we're gonna or personally think that we're gonna go through the second part of the bull phase. Number two is just be weighted in the right coins. I was underweighted in ETH and BTC, and I was overweighted in like mid and low cap altcoins for me. So I think it's a really good time for you to like consider your portfolio allocation
Yeah,
as well. So I think those are the two things I learned most um, since that drop. I see there's a question from Connor, and I don't really know anything about Hex, so maybe you can answer that one, Ed.
I mean, yeah, solid evidence scam. I mean, like Hex is one of those stuff where, like, if you got the free, like the free handout, good for you, right? But most people they miss out on the free handout, and it's not. It makes like little logical sense to get in. Like, if you were able to claim your free Hex time when it first came out, right? That's where the most of the money was made, right? And it like the system, like the whole Hex token, right? It's set up in a way where they reward those who like claim the token like on day one, and it just makes no sense to buy it right now, to stake it right now. I know that yes, it sounds like it sounds like exciting. Oh yeah, you can stake it, you make a return, but at the end of the day, you have to question like where's Hex getting the money from, right? Are they producing? Like, where's the value coming from? And at the end of the day, like most of Hex value is based on people buying in. It's all speculation, and eventually it will come tumbling down. So, and I think even Richard Hart, I did claim like he did admit that like that the main value is like people buying up, and he said that this. And he also like tried to say that a lot of the stuff is people buying is all speculation. So I mean that my take is like if you miss the boat to get in on Hex, it's probably not worth it. I mean there's a lot of other projects you get in early, right? Or even if you are very risk averse, just hodl like Bitcoin, just put your like or even get like stable coin and put it into like a yield farming projects or into like a I want to say some of the centralized places where you can just you can get like a return, but I think they're starting to block people or they're starting to ask for KYC and such. So yeah, BlockFi, I think that's what it is. So yeah, so I would say yeah, like it's probably good to have like to know what you want and play accordingly. But yeah, usually any project that's been around and the main backing is from hype, I would be cautious about it. Like I do want to see the main value in such. Like the main, I want to see how big is the community. I want to look at the fundamentals. I want to look at the white paper. I want to see like how many people are on GitHub, right? How many new updates? How many new commits? How many like side chains or improvement plans are people putting together, right? If it's just one person doing it, right, or just a small core of people doing it, right, it is going to be very centralized, and you probably will want to be cautious about it. But yeah, this is my take on it, on like projects that are just overly centralized. Oh yes, and then yeah, I think that's all. I mean, that's all we have on Hex and such. Going down. Let's see. Uniswap. Also hear about Uniswap. You've followed the news about how Uniswap they are delisting stock tokens. So that's a pretty. That's not. I'm not surprised. I know some people say, "Oh wait, I thought Uniswap is a decentralized exchange." It's true they are decentralized, but they are run by a centralized entity located in the U.S. So this is, I guess, you can say buyers beware. If you really you think that decentralized exchange is immune, it comes down to the operator, and we know that Uniswap, the operator, they are located in the U.S. They have investors. I think they have early investors and everything. So they do have to bend to regulatory restrictions. I am curious to see whether that will be the case for SushiSwap and some of the other like truly decentralized projects, right? Exchanges out there. So, and then yeah, and then just scrolling down more. You see Chainlink at $18, so that's pretty good. I mean, a lot of projects are doing well. Solana, so that's Samcoin, right, from Sam Baker-Freeman, the guy we said who's been hustling really hard, right? Logan's at $27. Polygon $1. I think that's personal opinion. Do feel
That's a
that
steal in my opinion.
yeah, it's I mean, like it was trading at $2. Like after, like this
It
was
was
like
$2 at all time high. It was $2 or $3. Well, this is in Canadian.
yeah,
In US dollars, $2.62. So it's
yeah,
still roughly 62% down from its all time high. Solid project. Everyone knows it's a great project.
yeah.
No reason why it should be down that low, to be honest. So
Yeah, like this was a steal right here at 68 cents.
I don't even remember when my initial buy was. Let's see.
Yeah. I mean, this was just last week when it dropped down to 68 cents. I actually was worried. I actually thought about getting it, but I was I didn't have any like fiat dry powder ready. So I guess that's probably another lesson I learned too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Not having enough dry powder, not having fiat ready to load up.
Yeah, I've increased like previously I had like maybe 2% of my portfolio in stable coins. Obviously not enough to go through a 2-month period in which we're just absolutely dumping. So I'm increasing my stable coin position of my overall portfolio to probably be more in the lines of like 10% at all times. Simply just to be able to buy up dips and or just farm passive yield with just stable coins.
Yeah, so I mean, like, this is, I think it's quite a steal like compared to like the highest point, right? 250, 240. Yeah, 240 right here, right? Even here, like even at $1, right? If it can get back up here, that's already like 2.5x right here. So that's Polygon right there. And we're gonna expect more on Polygon though. Probably the biggest concern people may have is whether Polygon will be affected by ETH 2.0, and also with Cardano, because they are launching very soon too.
Yeah, I know that Cardano, they launched the smart contracts to the testnet for Alonzo White, and that was done like I think a week or two ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly where that's at right now, but I should take a look at where that's at.
Yeah, so I think they have different colors or different levels of testnet. So I lost count. Like I don't know what do they base it on. Like, do they base it on a rainbow or do they base it on karate belts or?
I have no idea.
Yeah, because if they're basing on karate belts, then I think white belt means the very beginning stages. But there's a lot of hype with Cardano for sure. I mean, like even without a testnet, they're at number 5 position right now. They are like slightly below like Binance coin. Right? Imagine if the testnet works the way that it's supposed to, and actually, and it's launched, right?
I think it could overtake Binance within like a couple of days, to be honest with you.
Easily overtake Binance.
Easily.
Maybe be at par with Ethereum. It may even take a lot of Ethereum's projects away. And it comes down to, I guess, what projects will be on it and what yields and what like benefits people will be getting. Polkadot, I actually haven't heard much from Polkadot, so I can't.
Yeah, and I kind of dollar cost averaged a little bit into Polkadot because I didn't have any Polkadot holdings, and it was down further in the top 10 holdings. It was down much further than anything else was. For some reason, there's just not as much hype right now, even though they announced their parachains, and there's four parachains that got one, but it just doesn't seem like right now there's a lot of media hype or any sort of like hype in terms of the parachains. I think as soon as they onboard more parachains and you see some successful auctions where the KSM tokens, the Kusama tokens, and the DOT tokens are locked, and those are successful, I think that's when you'll start to see some more momentum pick up into Polkadot. If you don't have any exposure already, it's still a good time to buy. I mean, it's still down 70.6%. It's even more than Polygon. It's a top 10 coin. It's not bad by any means. It's just right now it's just not doing as well as other coins in the top 10, like Cardano is doing, or Ethereum, for example.
Yeah, it did drop a lot harder than most other coins.
One coin that was really interesting to me was the Axie Infinity. Yeah, it's pretty good. So number 46. The Axie was at like 120, like literally like 4 days ago. I swear. Because like I was like, this is not in the top 100, and all of a sudden it's at like 60 something or 40 something.
Yeah,
and if you look at the chart, it's literally just like go to max. It's just literally vertical. Like it's just. Look at that vertical rise, like right after that dip, it just goes absolutely parabolic. Like, it's insane.
I mean, even here, right? Even in June, July,
$4.
But it started going vertical right here.
So what is it at now? Oh, it's like a 10x. It's almost 11x from
$3 to like
from the bottom for Axie. And actually, if you look at all the trending coins right now in CoinGecko, they're all basically like some sort of gaming token, or like it's either a gaming token or it's like an NFT project. I think right now they're all gaming tokens, to my knowledge.
Really?
But that's pretty neat.
Yeah, I missed the boat for Axie. I do feel personally, I'm not going to be touching. I'm not going to be chasing. After.
Definitely not chasing that pump, but I just thought it was really cool, right? To see like a gaming coin get up that high. I'm like, okay, maybe I need to take a look at some gaming sort of projects. I don't think I'm in like maybe the closest one I'm in is like Super Farm, which is like NFTs, but I'm not in any like purely gaming coins like Axie. Apparently Rico got into Axie, so that's pretty cool. Not as I would like, but it's a great that's pretty cool. Are you playing the game as well, like Rico? Do you have like 3 Axies? I know that's like the minimum that you
are you making like $15 an hour or a day for gaming?
No, I have these teams. They play in teams. So there's 3 little guys, and then you can put them on the Ronin wallet and let people play, and then they give you a cut.
So you can rent your Axie.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Just like that, and it's passive income. So
and then I think Aaron here just said he is playing, and he's nice. Yeah. Definitely. I'm like, it's good. Wow. Connor has
30 Axies. Holy, that's a lot, man.
I think that's around like, is it $300 per Axie? Or
some of them are selling for a lot more than $300, but
it was 300 like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Like I would love to. I want to like take a look at some of these like gaming, like play to earn kind of games. Because I always love playing. I used to play a lot of games, so it'd be really cool to like see what sort of games are out there other than just Axie.
Yeah, my experience with watching gaming sort of flopped when I got into that game. That not game, but it was like a token that Binance released. It was that it's an Alien World token, TLM, Trillium, or Alien World.
Oh, I saw that one.
Yeah, that one
didn't it drop like 90%?
It tanked massively. So I was mining it, and then it tanked. Why
did it tank so much?
People were just dumping it.
Oh, okay.
I looked at this, like it was at like $6. Well, people pumped it up first, right? And then it started tanking after release. So like now it's worth like how much? It's worth like 28 cents. It's barely anything. So yeah, so that was my experience of it. I mean, fortunately, this was just I mean, it's just like I didn't really put that much into it, right? It's just whatever I could afford to lose. So TLM, and then same thing for the other one. They also have like Alice token. This is the one. My neighbor Alice.
Isn't that the one that did like an 100x on the day one it launched on Binance Pad or something?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's 100x. I mean, like anything that launches on Binance always does like 100x because they all start at $0.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, a lot of people it got a lot of attention. People are looking at it, and then people thought, hey, this is like Animal Crossing with blockchain, and yeah, I mean, like they have personal experience. I was trying to get on the land sale, and it was like horrible. So they had to delay the land sale like time and time again, and then when it was released, they did like a lotto system. So like most people didn't really win. So it was unfortunate. But overall, I mean, yeah, I mean it has functioned fairly, I guess, pretty stable. Like in terms of like value and such. I mean, it drew up a bit, but yeah, I mean, I'm still hoping I'm expecting more from Alice in terms of store value and such. Okay, never mind. They were at $40 at one point, but that was a launch price. I think that's a launch price. But, so yeah, but regardless, I haven't looked too much into other gaming tokens, but I know one of our past speakers, Andrew, who's the founder of Blockchain Gaming. I know he's been heavy with Gala tokens. So he has like a node. So he does I guess something called master node, right, where he buys like a lot of tokens. He stakes them, and he gets like a return like on a daily basis, right? So he's been making quite a bit, and I know, yeah, Gala, just like most gaming tokens, right? They shot up a lot. You can see that before the dump, it was at 0.032. Right now it's at about like 0.027, so it's not too far. It has recovered most of the way, and if you compare to the dump from like mid-May, they have recovered for sure. So yeah, in terms of gaming tokens, yeah, it's not all the same. Some tokens have recovered more than others, and I mean for this one, for Gala, they actually have been dropping in value, like way before the mid-May dump, but they have recovered a lot by now. I do feel that a lot of gaming tokens have benefited based on Axie Infinity's news.
Yeah, it's definitely like all of the like basically anything in NFTs and or gaming right now is doing quite well, just in general. Like Decentraland, Flow, Engine, Chili's, Axie, they're all doing pretty good right now. Pretty much green across the board.
Yeah, but I mean, like I mean, there's the whole gaming space is a very unique niche, and sometimes, yeah, I mean, before jumping into anything just for the name, do your own research. Yes. So I think you want to learn more. There is Andrew's blog. There's just blockchain gaming. He has like a Facebook group too, so you can probably join that to find out more. But I personally don't know too much about blockchain gaming. But also the other reason why I haven't been getting into it is because most of the tokens can only be found on like Uniswap, where you have to pay a lot of gas fees, or on like smaller exchanges like BitTrue and Bitmart. Like these ones, they're not on Binance, right? So that's some gaming token. I am curious to see Engine.
Yeah, apparently Engine's doing pretty good. One that I'm really interested in is like Decentraland. I wanted to take a look at that one. think I'll do that after this. But
Yeah.
that's one that I heard that's pretty cool, and it's a lot of like virtual space and like virtual land. So I want to take a look at that.
Yeah. You have Decentraland. You also have Sandbox.
Yeah, that was the other one that's really good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
both of them I miss out on, unfortunately. Yeah. I know that BitBoy missed out on Decentraland, so he's like going really big with Sandbox. Yeah, so engine, I have to wait for it. So yeah, I think for me it may be a bit too late for me to get into any gaming tokens right now. The best time to get in would have been like last week. Okay, engine is taking its time. Oh, here it is. And
still down 65%. I mean, that if anything, that's a great time to pick it up.
Could be, yeah.
What was the all-time high? 394, and it's at what, 136 now? That's pretty good. I mean, it's basically back to the same price it was at.
Yeah, similar gain rate as Matic, I think. To Matic and Cardano, we'll do that again. Still pretty good, but and then and I think Engine is releasing the other token too. Is it Engine Infinity or some other like secondary token? I can't remember the other one. I heard it from BitBoy talking about it today. Well, these are outdated.
True. I gotta head out, Ed, but yeah, it was really good talking about all these different sort of narratives here. I really want to see us break like 40,000 and hold it. And I think that's really the key level for me in Bitcoin. And of course, 41 and 42 is the more key level in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I just kind of seeing what's happening. I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens. I kind of already deployed a lot of my stable coins, and I'm just kind of sitting on my hands right now and just yield farming. So
yeah, that's probably the best. Like if you don't have any you can put in, I'm just sit by. I mean, like the worst thing you want to do is to go beyond your means
for sure,
and buy in, and then it turns out that it's a bull trap. Right. So I mean, I personally I do have like more positions. Like I'm willing to take up more positions. That if it drops even lower, like if Bitcoin drops down to like a 25K, I'm planning on buying up more. 20K for probably I'll probably like load up on even more, but I'm not going to go in all right now. I do set different levels to make sure that I can get in at better rates. And it may not fill, right? These orders may not fill, like the 25K or 20K order may not fill, but at least I know I'll be safe, right? If it does drop down there. You can see some support points I drew, right? These are some places I'm eyeing, and I have I'm planning on putting out buy orders. So I think that's probably everything for today. I just want to see anybody have any questions. We can do like a quick round of Q&A, and if anybody have any questions, I can try to answer them. If not, we can probably call it a night there. So let me see any other questions for tonight before we call it a night.
Are you guys? Are any of you aware of how to get into the ICOs? What's the latest? Which ICOs are?
Yeah, depends on which ICOs you're referring to, because there are different types of ICOs out there. ICOs they're not the same as some ICOs back in 2017 for sure. And I would expect to see them once Bitcoin gets above 60K and when everybody's excited. But generally, like new tokens, when they do launch, they usually have like a procedure, right, where you have to get yourself whitelisted first. And when you say whitelisted, that means you just have to like let them know that you give them your email and then your wallet address, so that I guess when so that they know where they're receiving money from, because you have some very basic type of ICO where all they have is a smart contract, and this smart contract will send you the ICO token if they receive like ETH from it. So you have that type, right? And those type can also be scammable too, where like you could send them your ETH and they wouldn't send you anything. So that's that biggest risk you have there. And it's always important to do your own research, like who's the team behind it, right? And how trustworthy are they? What is the token about? Do they have use cases, right? If you're trying to get an ICO for the hopes of it doing like a 50x, right? You're about like 4 years too late. 2017 would have been the best time for that. People are a lot smarter towards ICOs right now, and we also have a lot of like regulatory bodies, like they are like smacking down on ICOs. So they know how they've had the last 4 years like preparing against these ICOs. So it's a lot harder to get into ICOs right now, and a lot of times you may end up just getting the coins like on a second-hand basis, right? And if you're lucky, you may be able to find some on like launch pads, because I think that's the latest trend right now. The latest cool thing, right? A lot of projects are launching on launch pads. You have like Binance Launchpad. That's probably the biggest one that I don't want to say you can trust them anymore. I used to say you can trust, because back in the days when Binance launch projects were doing well, but nowadays you have all these like shitty projects like Alice token, you have like Alien Worlds token, right? They're not doing well, and half of them, if not 3/4 of them, are flop, right? And only like maybe like a quarter of them will do well. So, and the worst part is when you do get in on the launchpad projects, right? And especially if these are the ones where you stake, right? You don't buy, but you stake, and they give you like free tokens like through airdrop. It's also a taxable event too, so you do have to take consideration of that. And the worst part is I believe they would tax you on the value of the token when you receive it. Meaning if you were airdrop a token at $20 and it dropped down to a penny, you still get taxed on the $20. So yeah, buyers beware when it comes down to looking at tokens. And then I think Warren talked about.
What are you saying? When you take a loss like that?
You
take a loss and
you take a loss. I mean, like you can also write off the loss, right? You can declare a loss, right? But then it gets very messy, right? Because you were to sell it at a penny, right? You're going to be the sucker selling it at like 99.99% loss. But then you somehow you do like collect the documentation in case if the CRA or the IRS, depending on where you live, demands that information, you can present it to them. And you hope that the taxman will accept that information and write it off.
How is that tracked though? Like, is this is the exchange?
The exchange will eventually rat you out, because we are seeing like Binance facing a lot of regulatory pressure, and from history, we've seen companies like PayPal, Amazon, right? And Binance in the Binance US, right? They end up surrendering user transaction data to the taxman. So I mean, this is the worst part is if you took up any platform, right? You know how sometimes some platforms say, "Hey, if you join us, we'll give you $20," and usually require you to do like a KYC, right? They have your data. They can just send it over to the taxman. And I mean, the reality about the crypto and blockchain is you can't really run from the taxman. And sometimes whenever you take a position or you sell a position, just make sure you keep some to pay your taxes. Because governments are using platforms. They're using platforms like I think block tracer. I forgot the name of it, but they're utilizing a lot of companies that are developing all these like block analysis tool. I think chain analysis. I think it's called chain analysis. Yeah, chain analysis tool, just to track people's wallet addresses and such. And they just need to get one data point from you, right? Anything that has a KYC, and they'll know that wherever, whoever or whichever addresses with withdrawn from the exchange, they'll just tag your name to it, and then they can use that as the next data point, and then eventually they'll figure out like, oh, how much have you really made, right? Especially if you've been doing like yield farming and such, right? They'll eventually catch up to you, and that's the downside about being in the blockchain space. Everything is transparent. There's no hiding, and sometimes like you just have to like suck it up and like pay your taxes. That's my position. I know some people will have different positions, but I think it's just you can't run from them.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, I can see Warren Walker talked about Pi token. Pi token, it's I've been avoiding Pi token for the longest time. I know they've been around for a while. They're taking forever to launch, and the main feature is the referral program. I mean, they claim that they have a lot of other things, but they haven't launched yet, and so I'll be cautious about Pi. I mean, usually for projects that have been like saying, "Oh, we're going to launch," and it's been like years and years and years. You start to wonder, like, are they really in it to launch the project, or are they trying to get a lot of hype? And it does seem like Pi is just trying to get hype right now. So I'm gonna, yeah. But there are probably a lot of other stuff you can find out on Pi right now. I know like a lot of YouTubers are divided on it. Some like they are avoiding it. Others they sign up and they've already moved on from it because it's been like years since Pi started I guess recruiting people. Yes. Any other questions you guys have before we wrap up for the night?
I have a quick question. So all the coins that's on CoinGecko, like how good they are. Like what I'm trying to say, like when it comes to like things like it can be like a rug pull or like maybe like some. So from that point of view, like how good they are, like when it's posted on CoinGecko, can you like trust it or?
Well, so CoinGecko, the process for listing on CoinGecko is actually not too hard. Like anyone can list projects on CoinGecko. So that's one thing to note. And also the other thing to note is also like just because a coin is on the top 10 list or top 20 list or top 100 list, right? It doesn't mean that it's solid. I mean, like right now we see like Dogecoin, right, as number 8, right, top 10, right? And if you've been around since 2017, you may recall that there's this token called BitConnect, right? It's like the biggest scam, the biggest pyramid scheme. Right? They were on the top 20 list. So yeah, so just because a coin is on CoinGecko, there's no guarantee that it is legit. It just like, but you can use this data, right? You can use the data on CoinGecko to see like, what I love to see is to see the coin movement, right? I like to see like, what is everyone talking about? Which coin moves the most? Or even the other way, if you want to look at which coin has dropped the most, right? And that could tell you what could be a potentially hot buy-in. So like you can, so and then there's also like other metrics, right? What I love about CoinGecko is the other metrics is what Chris and I were talking about. Like you can look at like how far have they dropped from the highest point, right? This stuff like all-time high, like how like Chainlink, right? They are like 64.5% on discount. You can say this is like 64% discount, right? You can look at market cap. I love looking at market cap, right? Comparing market cap with Right, and also looking at what percentage of the market cap dominance. This is a huge thing too. If you don't know how to work with market cap dominance, it could give you like a snapshot of how high like a token could go. And then and then I think Connor mentioned about on a similar note with CoinGecko, how does CoinGecko compare to CoinMarketCap? And yeah, I mean, like there are different platforms out there. I mean, like CoinMarketCap, I think a lot of people, I know CoinMarketCap used to be popular before they were sold out to Binance. So people move on from CoinMarketCap because they feel that they are like CoinMarketCap is like they delay some data or they are biased on the search result to like promote their own like latest feature tokens, right, over others as like trending data. So some people are moving away from CoinMarketCap for that. But what I do like about CoinMarketCap is their dominance chart. I love how for CoinMarketCap they do update the top 10 coins in the dominance chart. Compared to CoinGecko, they don't really do that. So this one, I mean, like this used to be clickable. I mean, you can't click them anymore, and then you have to like dig it up here. I think dominance. I'm not sure they even show dominance. Nope, they don't even show dominance right here. Coin dominance. But yeah, they don't show it. But I'm here, right? CoinMarketCap, you actually can see like you can see like all the other coins by coin dominance.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's to address Connor's question about CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap. I mean, at the end of the day, they all show like similar things, but it comes down to like your preference, right? And they all try to differentiate for different market groups too. Like for like CoinGecko, they try to appeal to the NFT people, right? The DeFi people. They try to. I think at one point they were like showing all their like yield farming projects and such. So it comes down to like your personal preference, right? And yeah, and I know some people they use the portfolio function too, right? Just keep track. But yeah, they keep track or even to paper trade to see like how much would they have made if they took up a position right back in May or back in June where they bought in. So yeah, see right here, and then I don't think they have the yield farming anymore. They do have it right here, yield farming. So yeah, so CoinGecko, they have like a list about like different farms out there, different farms and how much you make, like if you stake different projects, right? And then you have like, so for Sushi, you put in like Bitcoin and ETH, right, pair, you get like a 20% return, right? This is assuming if Bitcoin and ETH doesn't move in value. If they do, then you may make more or less. But yeah, and then back to what I was saying, I'm waiting for this to load. I do love CoinMarketCap mainly because of this chart alone. Like, if I'm not looking for like token dominance, I probably would be on CoinGecko. But if I want to see like the dominance of different tokens, right, I'll go on here, right? You can see here you have like you have ETH right here. You can see ETH going up. ETH is starting to move up again. And I don't know who's this white. This white line is others. So you can see like ETH has regained a lot of dominance right now. Or you can also say that a lot of other coins have dropped in dominance, and just let's move up here just this year alone. Let's see where things are. Right. You see, yeah, you can see like from May on, ETH has, I guess, I'm starting to overtake the majority of all the other coins out there. And you also have like coins like Cardano. They're picking Yeah, it's starting to Cardano's been like fluctuating here. Like for this year, they were at like under 1%, and Cardano is at 2.5, 2.6%. And then where else? You also have like Dogecoin went up a lot for sure. But you can see they do list the top 10 coins right here. Well, you don't even have that on CoinGecko. So do you have any other questions we have before we call it a night?
You want to go through the weekly charts on that, Ed?
Pardon?
Do you want to go through the weekly charts on that? And second question is, where's Andy Wagner?
Oh, Andrew, he's going to be he's not here today. He's going to be doing another thing not tomorrow, but next week.
I was trying to get him to join the meetup groups, but I don't know.
Yeah, you can probably send him a message because I think he is on he is at the Facebook group, the blockchain gaming group. So you can send him a message and
blockchain what?
Blockchain gaming Facebook group.
Okay. You want to go through the weekly charts, or it's up to you, man?
Sort of did go through the weekly charts already. We went over prices and such.
All right, guys. Thanks. Yeah.
But overall, I'm just keeping an eye at the main point is I'm just keeping an eye at the 40K, this red box right here. Right, Bitcoin may have trouble breaking through this red box, and if it does have trouble breaking this red box, right, we may come down here, or we may bounce back at any of these other red lines. So I mean, like, we're still not out of the woods yet. Like, I would be more comfortable if Bitcoin is at like 45K. If I'm gonna draw this right here, right? If it can get up above, like if Bitcoin can go above here, and it comes down just to test this red box, and it goes up, right? That's when I'll be more comfortable. Until I see that,
It looks like it's more than an Elliott wave.
Yeah, anything could happen, right? Anything can happen, and so yeah. So I think that's all the things all the time we have for today. So I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. If you guys want to get into blockchain gaming, we do have one of our speakers, Andrew Wagner. He's going to be doing an introduction to like blockchain gaming next week. You do have to register, so you can find that at his Discord group. Well, just go to like the Facebook group. He runs like blockchain gaming. Just go to blockchaingaming.com and then find the Facebook group, right? And yeah, and he'll do like a quick crash course on how to play. He has 2 games that he wants to feature in his scholarship program. One of them is called Hash Kings, and the other is called Rising Star, right? So I think the Rising Star, you play it as like some musician. You want to, right here, Rising Star, right? You want to play as a musician. You want to. And you have to buy like different NFTs, so right, so you can say like a guitar NFT or whatever NFT, and then you bust around town, and then you I guess you earn like tokens, coins, and then from that you buy more, right? And I think he's offering like a scholarship program where like he's giving you like for Hash King, you're getting free seeds and free water or something. I don't remember. You have to check it out, but yeah, so you can look into. Just the Facebook group right here, right? You go to the website, blockchaingaming.com, go on Facebook, and then you're gonna send him a message about it. And yeah, he'll tell you about the details for next week's session. So,
thanks for the great session, Ed. Thank you so much. It was a great day.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Have a good night, Ed. Thanks so much.
Okay.